Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining Martin Ho's press conference. We are previewing our trip to Man Utd this weekend. We will have questions in the room and on the online feed today. For those of you joining on the online feed, please use the raise hand function if you'd like to ask questions. We'll start off in the room using the microphone provided with Callum Humphrey.
So just starting with Jess Naz, obviously terrible news. Have you spoken to her? How is she?
Yeah, she's doing okay. I think for any player that suffers ACL injury, it's obviously disappointing, frustrating definitely. We just haven't won before, so no, she's been in good spirits the last few days she's been in. She's been able to see the specialists, see the players, and yeah, she's in good spirits now. But obviously, I know she'll be disappointed inside.
Yeah. Any other team news ahead of Sunday?
No, that's the only one, just Jess, and some of the ones who picked up injuries from the previous game won't be available for this one. Katinka, Charlie, Olga, and apart from that, we're the same squad.
And obviously, Man United, how big a test do you think that's going to be for your team?
Yeah, huge. They're a team that's competing for the title. They have world-class players in their squad. They're competing in the big stages of the Champions League. So, yeah, they're a world-class team. They're a top team in this league. And, yeah, they're competing for the title. So, yeah, we know it's going to be a tough test, but we have to make sure we turn up with the right attitude and apply ourselves correctly.
And then, obviously, it's back-to-back against United. You've got next week as well in the League Cup for the winter break. How important do you think those two games are going to be in terms of sort of shaping the narrative of the season so far coming up to Christmas?
Yeah, I don't think they won't define our season. They won't define us before Christmas neither. We have to approach both games individually and both on a single level. The league game, this one, and that's all we're focused on. And then we follow that with the cup game, where we have to try and do things a little bit different maybe and be a little bit more creative and innovative with how we set up. But yeah, I have no doubt the players are up for these games because these are the ones they want to play in. And when you're playing against top players and a team that's competing for the title, you want to make sure that you can show you're competing at that level. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move to questions on the online feed. We'll start with Megan.
Hey Martin, let's talk about your Spence first, the new contract for her. How excited are you about that?
Yeah, really excited, Megan. I think Drew's someone I've spoke about quite a lot in terms of maybe goes under the radar quite a lot in terms of her performances and her professionalism and the way she conducts herself, and she's well deserving of that contract. And I think I said that in my media too. I think her performances have really kind of shaped parts of our games and how we've kind of approached games and the way we've done things since I've come in. But her professionalism, leadership and her kind of essence in the dressing room is important for the group, for younger and older players in terms of her role model and behaviours. And yeah, I'm absolutely delighted that she's decided to stay.
And you said before you came on, but it was still recording, to make it spicy. There's obviously some familiarity between you and Manchester United, but also with your coaching staff. You know, getting Lawrence in was such a key part of the summer. I mean, you know, tell me what he's brought to your team and kind of like how he's helped elevate y'all.
Yeah, he's outstanding. I think I've said this before, and I will always say, and he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people I've worked with, and one of the most dedicated and hard-working people. And Manchester United definitely know that will probably be a loss for them in terms of what he gave to them and what he would do. And I'm sure the players and staff would speak volumes of that alongside Mark himself. And I was just delighted that Lawrence has decided. Obviously, he's leaving a team that's competing for the title and a big team competing in that latter stages of the Champions League, and he's decided to come to Tottenham, where he sees a real ambitious project, somewhere where he can grow and develop around good people, good players, and he wants to make sure that he can help us achieve our ambitions here.
And this week, you know, Manchester United had to play Lyon in the Champions League, but obviously, you know, Mark even said after his game that he was definitely looking at Spurs on this weekend in terms of how he was managing the squad and getting ready. I mean, what does that mean for you to sort of be that team that there has to be one eye being kept on the weekend?
Yeah, and obviously it's if that's the way Mark sees it, and he feels that he's having to rest players for this game, which was 5 or 6, then obviously credit to our playing squad for maybe being in part of his kind of thought and maybe in his head about the game coming up this weekend. So yeah, when you see that, you know that obviously those players have been maybe rested, or if you want to call it rotated, for this game coming up. But yeah, I think it shows where we are as a group and how probably much respect we're maybe getting at this moment in time.
Thank you so much and good luck on
You too. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks, Meg. Chris Cowlin. Chris?
Hi Martin, hope you're well. Now, what a fantastic start to the WSL. And if you win your next league game, it will be the best ever start for a manager in a WSL season. You must be extremely proud of those stats. And when you look as well, we've quite often spoken about the gap in the WSL with the likes of Arsenal, and you're equal on points with them. 2 points away from second. You must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, thanks for the pressure, Chris. I appreciate that. I know you'll always bring that. But no, I think, I know all I focus on is what we can do for the playing group, how we can evolve and develop them, and the way we can be better every week as a group, every training session, every game. And we've had a good start now. And I just want to make sure that we can continue to evolve as a club. And I don't really look at anything for myself individually. It's more about the playing group and the staff that I have around me that enable me to do my job well. So, if we can pick up those points, and that is another kind of thing written in the books, then brilliant. But all our intentions is to go into that game and be competitive and make sure that we can come out on top within the game.
Now, of course, with the WSL game taking place on Sunday, next Sunday is the quarter-final of the League Cup. Can you prioritise one over the other, or do both games have equal importance?
No, they both have equal importance. I won't rest anyone for any game. I won't rotate for the sake of rotating, as I've said before. Every game I go into, I want to win. The playing group want to win, the staff want to win, and this club at Tottenham want to win as many games as possible. So my job is to put the team out that's going to win the game and it's going to be the most competitive to start the game. I know that's not the team that usually finishes the game, because you have to use the game changers to do that. And we will do it in this game at the same time. But I won't go about resting anyone. I want to make sure that we show all the respect to Man United in both games, but we also just focus on what we need to control, and that's our performance.
Martin, lastly from me, of course, in the last couple of days, the men's first team have announced that they will be going to Australia in July and August. Now, Chelsea will also be there, and it's also been announced that Chelsea women will also be there. Can we expect the Spurs women and yourself to be there, or if not, would you like this to be a thing for you guys in the future?
Yeah, of course. I think we'll see what comes up with the club, and obviously that's for people away from me commercially and leadership to make those decisions. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a trip to Australia if that comes about. Who wouldn't? Probably the fans, you as journalists are probably like that too. So if those things we can do as a collective, as both teams, senior teams, men's and women, and it works for the club from a commercial perspective and a marketing perspective, then brilliant. And we will see what happens. But until now I haven't heard anything different. But we'll work towards those plans hopefully in the near future.
Okay, we'll go to Charlotte.
Good, Charles, how are you?
Yeah, good. How big, first of all, was that Olivia getting that goal late in? I mean, we all saw your reaction at full time.
Can you do me a demonstration, Charlotte?
Yeah, of course. I'm actually building a collar over you're punching the air victory celebrations. But how big was that? I think I could see on the touch you're getting so frustrated. Villa were down to 10 players. Couldn't get that breakthrough even though you were on top. How big was actually getting the last minute win?
Yes, huge. I think whether it's last minute or not, I think for me, Charlotte, you want to, when you're not at your best, and we knew we weren't at our best, and we have to own that, and we will own that, and we did when we reflected. But I think when you're not at your best and you can win games, I think it's the signs of a good team in the making in terms of for the future. Our attitude and resilience was really good, but the difference in terms of those games where you maybe feel in the middle of that table they can be tight, you want to come out on top. And I think huge plaudits to the players and the staff around me that we pulled through in terms of in that game. And it meant a lot because I see the efforts and the commitment the players put in, and we'd faced some adversity that week previously with some injuries we picked up when the players were on international break. And the players have all stepped up, and I was so happy for them to get that result.
Spurs beating everyone that they quote unquote should, but not getting a result against the, again, sort of big four. How much would you like to go into a winter break with a sort of a signature victory on Sunday against Man United?
Of course, I'd want any game we go into, Charlotte, when we play any of, if you want to call it the big four, any game we go into, I want to win. And I don't think there's a game like people probably think, as you said, in terms of these are the games you should win. I don't think there's a kind of a thing around it where we should win games. You have to earn the right to win games. And I think we've shown in maybe spells of those games that we've been on top or we've been dominant. There's some like the weekend where we wasn't at our best, but we found a way to win, which I think is a really good trait for a team that's going to build a winning culture. And then going into Manchester United, as I said before, they're a world-class team with world-class players. They're competing for the title, and they should be in and around that title every single year. But yeah, we just need to control what we control. If we put in a big performance, Charlotte, and we perform to the levels I know we can, with and without the ball, I believe we can be a match for anyone. And we've shown that in large spells now. And I think if you look at the progress from when we played Manchester City, then into Chelsea and Arsenal, if you want to call it the big four, we've had progress in those games of understanding what those games mean, having big game feelings, big game experiences, and going in with a different mentality. And we go into this game with a totally different mentality in terms of how we've been in the previous game against Arsenal just recently, if you want to call it big four. We go into Manchester United to do a team, as I said, who are a challenge for that title.
Sounds like you're telling us you're going to win on Sunday. You've gone from losing, got the draw against Arsenal. Next step is beating Man United, right?
Yeah, well, next step, you want to win games, and I want to win games, but I'm under no illusion that it's a big task in terms of when we play these teams, in terms of the talented squad they have, but I believe in our group of players, in terms of if we put things together, we're organised and we're efficient with our play, then we can be, as I said, a match for anyone. But yeah, as I said, Manchester United are a world-class squad, and yeah, are competing for the title.
Just finally for me, you talked about Jess's horrible injury. How are you going to fill that gap? That is a big gap in the starting 11.
Yeah, I think no matter what player we lose, Charles, if we lose Jess or we lose any other player, and obviously Jess in this situation now, as we're speaking about, she's a big player for us, and will be a big loss in terms of in and out of possession traits and characteristics she has. We need to make sure we look after Jess first and foremost from a health and well-being perspective, and we will do, and I'll make sure we do as a club, and the club will always do that. And then we have to look what we can do. We've got some good players in the squad that need to now, when the opportunity presents itself, they need to step up now, and the opportunity presents itself for some of these players, and we have to make sure we take advantage of that. Thank you, Charlotte.
Alia?
Hey Martin, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Spurs' results against top teams in the league have improved as the league has gone on. How confident are you that Spurs can go to United this weekend and get a win despite the key injuries that they have at the moment?
Yeah, I think we can be competitive, and we always will. No matter if we have 20 players or we have 12 players available, we'll go into the game to be organised, be effective, set the team up with the right players in the right positions to allow us to affect the game. And I have all faith in the group that we can go into this game and be competitive again. And it's just going to take everything from us. We've had some setbacks in terms of with injury over the last kind of 10 days, which has been unfortunate. But yeah, we have to go into this game with a mentality that we can win the game, which we will, and we go in with confidence.
And then should all results go as Spurs this weekend, there is a possibility that they could go second in the league, something that would have seemed very out of reach last season. What do you think is the main reason for the team's dramatic improvement in form compared to last season?
The attitude of the players, the mentality of the players, work rate, efforts of staff too collectively, intertwining both of them, along with Adam and Lawrence coming in, and Lawrence adding massive depth and massive knowledge to us, and obviously someone Man United wouldn't want to lose, because I know the work he done there when I was there, and I know he was certainly doing a lot of work when he was there over the last couple of years, so I know his impact there, so his kind of impact on the group's been big. And then Adam the same as a coach in terms of technically and tactically what he adds to us individually with the players. But then all of that combined has enabled us to be together, competitive, and able to put performance on the pitch.
Yeah, and finally for me, Ella Morrison and Luana Buller, long-term absentees who are yet to play under you. Obviously, Ella Morris in particular was a key player for Spurs last season. How are they doing in their recoveries, and how far away are they from returning to the squad?
Yeah, there's no real time frame at the moment on Luana's progressing well. I don't like to put a time frame on it because you might jinx it. So she's progressing well. She's in the gym. She's doing good work. Ella Morris is doing exceptionally well. Has gone through the gym stage. Now she's back on the pitch running. And hopefully we can integrate Ella back into early part of team training, maybe end of January, start of February. And she's doing exceptionally well. So, yeah, they're both in a good space. They're both working hard. And hopefully, when we get to that period of February, hopefully we can introduce her, Elle definitely back to the group. Luana maybe slightly different.
Okay, thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
And we'll finish with Tom Gary. Welcome back.
Thanks, Curtis. Hi, Martin. I just wanted to ask you a little bit about Man United's team selection in midweek. I'm wondering maybe how much of a compliment you felt it was to Tottenham that they appeared to rest players before playing you when they were playing Lille. Like, what kind of thought process went through your mind when you see that? Do you take that as a compliment?
Yeah, I think you can look at it both ways. I don't know the ins and outs of why the team at Man United, Mark and his technical team have made those decisions, but if you were looking at it from an external perspective, you would maybe think they've rested players for this game in terms of to look ahead towards us as a team. So you obviously take compliment from that. But I think we don't want to take too much compliment because I know where they're at as a group. They have the ability to rotate, Tom, and they have the ability to interchange their players like they have, and probably interchange even more than they probably have up to now because of the depth of talent they've got, the depth of quality they've got. So yeah, I know that they're a world-class squad and they have the ability to do that. So yeah, either way, if it's to rest players or it's just to rotate for the Champions League, even though, yeah, they've qualified in that game. Before that game, sorry.
And given that they lost quite heavily, please forgive me for the cliche, but do you expect like a wounded animal to come at you a little bit at the weekend, to try, after they've lost a game like that?
No, you maybe expect a reaction, and I think Mark will probably expect a reaction from his team. Maybe everyone's trying to put a little bit more spice on the game because I've been there before, and now I'm here, and we're playing against each other. And but yeah, I expect a reaction from Manchester United because they're a team that wants to win and is competing for the title, and they don't want to lose. But I also understand that we just need to make sure when we turn up, we expect Manchester United at its best, with the strongest team going out, whoever they decide to put out, and we make sure that on that day we're competitive, Tom.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Cheers, Tom.